No, don't say that. Don't pop up with my internet. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the first episode of the Roundtable. But why is it just me? Because I'm going to do nice introductions for people. That's why. I'm showmanship. And also, you can tell HD graphics, Wi-Fi's up. You know. So let's start the Roundtable. We'll be discussing all things NWFL. We can, because there's some brilliant games happening this weekend. There are games that have already been, but we're going to talk about it all. So first, we've got Molly Bryson from the Cheshire Bears.
Hello.
You can give me a round of applause. We've got Kenya from the Manchester Titans.
Hey guys.
We've got Lindsay, the head coach of the Edinburgh Wolves.
Hi.
We've got Chloe Smith of the Leicester Falcons.
Hi everyone.
We've got Louis Saxton of the Norwich Devils.
Hiya.
And then we've also got Megan, who is also from the Cheshire Bears. So, go on, everyone say hello. Maybe all at once. Try it out.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
There you go. Perfect. So, sort of the first question I want to sort of get out of the way, because, if people are paying attention, they're aware that, not everyone in this chat has actually played yet. But, Lindsay, your team has played in... I can tell you, I was on the edge of my seat in the tournament, and sort of like what's interested me was, were you surprised about the Northumberland Shield Maidens? Because I certainly was.
Absolutely not. I mean, as a brand new team, you can never underestimate what they're going to come out with. And despite the fact that you kind of make a natural assumption many of them are rookies and not played, I think that sometimes makes them even more dangerous because they're out to prove themselves from the word go. So, no, we didn't go in with any expectations other than anything could happen, and it certainly did.
Because also that's cool, because I'd hope that everyone else in the chat, they sort of keep up with the scores as they're going along, even if they're not in the division that they're in. But gosh, some of those halftime scores, they were looking shocking. They were not shocking in the sense of they looked bad. They were shocking in the sense of I was shocked. So sort of with that, I mean, I guess we could sort of, I'm going to throw it to sort of Chloe and Louis here, just based on the fact that Norwich is a new team. It's like, what sort of expectations, Louis, did you have? And then Chloe, like playing Norwich, was there any sort of expectations that they would, that they wouldn't be particularly very good?
Go on, Lou, if you want to go first.
No, I probably want to hear if you think that we were going to be shit first.
Well, we definitely didn't think that.
You're all good.
Yes.
It was a hard one for us because a few of us have been playing longer than the team had been around as well. Back when it was Iceni or like Chaconi had gone up to Samwell. We'd had people do Diamond and that sort of thing. So it was really hard to gauge with like a few kind of dedicated vets and a bunch of rookies, like where we would end up in that. And I think actually we kind of came away as I would have expected. Like we put up a decent fight, but we weren't, expecting to walk it or anything.
Yeah, off the back of that, like Lindsay said earlier, a brand new team, there's no predictions because you don't know what they've done before. You don't know what they're going to do. Now we've kind of played each other 3-4 times. Like, oh, Norwich might like to run this way or throw that way or do whatever. But a brand new team, you obviously don't know that. So, yeah, we definitely didn't go into it expecting easy win. But then when Norwich beat Peterborough and we were like, oh, well, we've just beaten Norwich, so maybe we're all a bit even. Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that, everyone's got a game this weekend. I know that they have. I pay attention.
Yes.
I pay attention. Also, people who are watching, put some comments in, ask some questions. I know last time you were giving me grief about stalling. I'm not stalling, all right? I'm not stalling. So, Cheshire and Manchester, obviously, we had Leeds reached out to us. They can send anyone, which is a shame. Like, your season's kicking off. Basically, how does everyone feel that their season's kicking off, apart from Lindsay, whose season's already kicked off? How are you feeling about the second week, Lindsay? I'll post it around.
No, looking forward to the tournament this weekend. It's the first time that Edinburgh's had women's football since 2019. We didn't participate in the 2020 season. We decided to withdraw and have a rebuilding year before COVID hit. And then last year, during the 2021 COVID league, we ended up not having any football in Edinburgh because the other two teams pulled out due to player safety. They were low in numbers. So no, we're really looking forward to it. The girls getting a home tournament and getting the support down. It's got a different vibe when it's a home game, I think. So yeah, excited for that, really.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I'm really excited for the. No, sorry, I'll just carry on.
No. I was going to ask the same question again, but sort of frame it to everyone.
No, I was going to say, I'm really excited for this season just because I feel like last season everyone was kind of coming off the back of COVID and, you know, teams were struggling with players and injuries and people probably just getting their health back. But I feel like now people have had a chance to settle in and maybe recruit some players. I just think it's going to be a really exciting season. And we've had a lot of rookies after COVID because I feel like once COVID hit, everyone was kind of just getting outside and being like, actually, I do want to maybe try something I've not done before. That was my reason for joining. I was like, life's too short. I'm just going to play. If I get hit, I get hit. Luckily, I'm on defense, so that worked out well. But yeah, I'm really excited for this season to kick off.
We're the same, to be honest. So I joined kind of partway through last season. So I'm 2 tournaments in. And at that stage personally now where I'm just like, all right, now I understand the sport. I want to get going. And you can really feel that energy in the team. Like, I think just as Molly said there, we had a bunch of players who were like struggling to try and make it to training because of COVID and restrictions and poor health and injury and just ready and raring to go. We've got a lot of rookies. We've got a lot of rookies this year who are like also, you know, the regular, this is my first tournament nerves coming in. But again, just incredibly excited. And there feels like there's a really positive buzz going of people just hyping each other up for what seems like a really long awaited first tournament.
Yeah, we are pretty much the same. Like, I would totally echo both Molly and Kenya. Like, everyone's so excited to go. And the number of rookies that we've got at the moment is just staggering. And they're really good as well. And like, I'm so excited for them to kind of get out there and like show what they can do and to see what they can do in a game situation as well. That'd be great.
Yeah, I do kind of wish there was some way like the teams could play like every single team in the league at least once, but you know, that's up to Baffer, I guess.
Traveling there, as well.
No slagging off. Oh, we can't slag off Baffer. So the questions, you know, it's not the question we get asked. So this, I think this one's specifically directed at Lindsay. This is Lou from Portsmouth, and you know we did an article about her. Not just she's from Portsmouth, she plays for Portsmouth, not Destroyers, Dreadnoughts. So there you go. What's the travel situation like for the Scottish teams for the other tournaments, Lindsay?
Yeah, I mean the travel can be really tough. To be honest, though, the biggest challenge we have with the travel is the communication piece. I mean, there was a bit of discord with how the league alignments would be with the Women's League early on, which from a club point of view made it really difficult for us to plan and budget. So that ends up being our biggest challenge, if I'm being perfectly honest. In previous years, we've always attended. We've never had to pull out of any tournaments. We've always got there, but we've been able to plan, fundraise accordingly and arrange travel well in advance to get those much needed discounts. This year we're not being quite as fortunate due to various elements, meaning that the league was redrawn twice, much to our dismay. So yeah, that's our biggest challenge, if I'm being honest. But we do enjoy the trips away, no matter how far they might be. It's been a blast when we've been down in Birmingham, Leeds. Don't think we've ever been to Manchester. We've played Manchester, but I don't think we've been to Manchester. Derby.
Soon, Lindsay. We'll have you soon, hopefully.
Yep, definitely. Been a long time.
So let me ask. This question's not related to football anyway. There's still karaoke on the bus, right?
Much to my dismay, there is always karaoke on the bus.
Yes. Right. Has everyone done karaoke
Yep.
on the bus? Everyone?
Yep.
Well,
I mean, we don't have a bus, but we tend to car share a lot, and there's always karaoke and.
I don't think we do karaoke. We do story time, which is slightly more risque than karaoke.
I'll try and introduce that. I'm not sure how it will go.
Just going off what Lindsay said there, like I know especially for teams traveling down from Scotland, the league changes last minute must have put a lot of pressure on you guys, but I think probably across all of the teams. What we found was it just meant that players couldn't commit to anything. And, we're all doing this as part of our lives, plenty of other things going on. So what we found was a lot of players were going, brilliant, great, these are the tournament dates, and they'd switch around, and then we'd be left with 2-3 players that were like, actually, I can't do that date now. I've got a wedding or I've got this going on. So it just impacts and hurts numbers, I guess. And with a sport that's already underrepresented, it just puts a lot of pressure on, especially when you've then got rookies who are then there's more pressure on them to do more in a tournament where, they're just worried about that first hit.
Yeah, like we didn't get our tournament dates for ages. And then obviously things getting changed around, but by then people had booked holidays or had plans. So it would be nice to but it's the whole aspect of going to nines. I think everyone was just kind of committing blindly. Yeah. And then once it kind of figured out, I personally think they should just introduce it slowly. So instead of being like, right, the whole league's going to nines, you're going to do kickoff, return, everything. They should just introduce like 1 or 2 elements and then do it that way rather than just bam, you're in nines and that's it.
I personally don't know how BAFA could justify making all the teams go to 9 without any additional support in terms of coaching resources, learning opportunities, development opportunities. I mean, I know COVID's been a big part, but I mean, is Diamond even, or a version of Diamond even going to be on the go again? I mean, in the early years, there was loads of development opportunities to play. And now, again, I know COVID's had a bit to play with that, but there's not even any word of that being back on the cards.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think Diamond does need to happen again. Like, definitely. Like, I think that's how most people got into like 11s or got 11s experience, because obviously at the time of when it was first introduced, it was 5. And if people want to go to the national programme, it's 11s. So I don't know how you're expecting girls to get 11s experience if Diamond or anything like that is not available.
Yeah, it's too steep a learning curve for the players without that support.
Yeah, completely.
Oh, sorry, Louis. I was going to introduce a question, but you talk first, then I'll introduce a question. Sorry.
No, sorry. I was just like kind of echoing the same sort of stuff, really. Like we saw it when they did a kind of sudden move from 5s up to 7s. Like at the time, it was so new, and there was so little support out there that so many teams had to fold, like immediately afterwards. So a lot of us relied on things like Diamond then just to play all together, let alone 11s or 7s or whichever. And we can't afford to kind of blanket say, right, you guys are all moving up and you've got to get on with it and build or you're out.
Yeah, for us, I mean, not like you're kind of the same at Norwich. We're a really small squad. We turned up to a Peterborough tournament with 11 players at one point because that's all we had through injury and lack of recruitment. Well, everyone but me. So, for us to move to 9s wouldn't be feasible because we just don't have the people, and we already played both sides of the ball, most of us, through both tournaments. So, yeah, you can't do that in 9s because you just die, for lack of a better term.
It's also the other implications of it. I mean, we at Edinburgh, the way we currently we share the field with our senior team to help split the costs. But if we're also playing on a full-size field, we would have to then have a different training slot, which increases your training costs. I mean, with more and more places, sometimes, well, we're Edinburgh, we're city centre, everything's at a premium price and premium training slots, you know, unless you want to train at Friday night at 11:30 till midnight, trying to get a suitable training slot is really hard. So going to nines on a full, it's the costs of that as well, the training costs for the teams as well. And then it's additional recruiting, which is hard when you're only really doing local recruiting, you know.
So
get that national.
On what? Sorry, Lindsay. Just based on, I think this is a really interesting question, especially to get from sort of everyone here. What support do you think what support do you think Bathurst should do to get the league to nines? And thank you, Lou.
I think things like Diamond actually can help with that, because it was giving people a taste of something more that they could do. And it was also encouraging more coaches to get involved at a kind of, not a high level, but like a broader level. And we need them on board as well if we're going to look to move to nines. You know, we need to be training up more coaches. We need to be getting into schools more as well. It's going to be essential for the growth of the game. And I don't see anything really hinting that that's going to happen anytime soon. But it's the numbers, it's the recruitment, it's the getting the word outside of the Britball community that's completely lacking at the moment.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, especially for the women's league, I feel like it is on the uprising, which is good. But like when I first joined, I never even knew there was a women's league existed. I think I was researching all, and all that was coming up was the I shouldn't say men's league, senior leagues or whatever it is, but I think they could definitely promote the women's game more, and even to get youth players. Like, we only have a few youth players that maybe play across the UK that are girls. And I think if we get more, like you said, going into schools and stuff, more interest and getting the word out there that women can play as well, I think that'll be really good, because you can get them like graduating through the youth leagues into our leagues. And I know a lot of women play for the senior leagues as well, but I feel like some of that is because there might not be a women's team that's local to them. So the only option they have is to join, you know, the senior leagues, which is great. It's great to see. But I think definitely more promoting from everyone in general, really, just to get the word out there.
Yeah, I mean, I agree entirely. I think there's a lot of pressure on teams to drive their own recruitment at the moment. And it puts a lot of pressure on, again, people who are doing all of this playing voluntarily and then to have to recruit voluntarily as well. But, you know, we know the areas that we're trying to recruit around. And if you're looking at like the different leagues, Leeds, Manchester and Cheshire aren't that far apart. So if you're trying to recruit across that base, you can start to be more intelligent with how you're getting people to up the numbers across each of the teams. But actually having the time and resource to put behind it, if BAFA can step in to do that. And then again, just with those development days for both players and coaches. So if you ask me to go to nines now, after half a season and just pre-season, I'd be like, right, well, I don't know what I'm doing. So that's a daunting task. So like Molly said at the beginning, how can we introduce parts of an addition of a bigger game to ease the transition up?
I think one of the things that goes in our favour now, I'm curious to hear if anybody else thinks the same, is moving from a winter league to a summer league. I feel that we're no longer competing with the same pool of athletic females who play regular football and rugby. You know, we used to have a lot of dual sport players who their first love was rugby, so American football took a back seat, whereas now I think it will help recruitment and interest because we're not competing with those other sports.
Also, just 100%. Player kind of satisfaction. I know for me, playing in winter, I played uni ball, so that was winter league, and then my first season women's was we ended up in Cardiff and it was snowing. So, like, if I didn't love the sport, I wouldn't go out in the rain. So for rookies coming in, if their first session's in the snow or the hail, I'd be like, if I'm not too sure, I'm probably not going to go back because it's cold. So playing in summer in the sun while it's hot is a lot better and doesn't hurt as much.
Although
I prefer winter. I hate playing in the sun. Like, I really do. Like having a helmet on and then you take it off and all that sweat. No, it's not attractive.
I was going to say, when we were training when it was last Saturday, when it was absolutely boiling.
Oh, it was quite warm.
I think I'm done. I don't think I can do this anymore.
Until you've played in winter and been hit in winter, it just stinks.
I've not experienced.
I played in snow, played in everything. Much prefer snow, like 100%.
You should move to Scotland, mate.
Mate, I will. I promise you. I just like Liverpool too much, sorry.
So, like, just sort of in terms of more questions, we have got a lot of questions. I will get to everyone who's put one, especially like Alex Jelfs, and we will get to those. But I just want to highlight this one, just so we can talk about the person who's posted it. So this one comes from the Girls of Gridiron UK, and we will answer their question. But can we just point out that their level of coverage is amazing. Like, from like I don't know if it's like if people are getting paid for it. I'm not entirely sure. Like, I can only talk about what sort of my sort of level is on sort of my obviously on the Sport Tank brand, but like their level of recruitment, their level of coverage is like just amazing. Like, just I just want to throw around to people like just what is it like to have like this one exceptionally dedicated page, and like I mean, I just feel like they've done quite a lot, and I feel like even in the media that I've done, I don't talk about them as much as I really should do.
I personally think it's fantastic what they've done for the game. I've been probably quite vocal about the lack of support that BAFA gives the women's game. I'm curious to however many people who are not actually directly playing with a women's team know that GB Women have an international campaign this year, because there's not a jot of it on the BAFA pages. You know, they're not promoting it. This is the ideal time to be promoting women's American football, as when this campaign's happening in just a few short weeks, really. So to be honest, I expect more of a national governing body to help with the national recruitment.
Yeah, 100%. I think Girls are good. I'm putting them to shame at the moment, and I think
absolutely,
you know, they're kind of aware there are good people there, and they'll say it as well. You know, they're following in the footsteps of an amateur page that was set up like months, maybe like a year max ago. Like,
about 6 months ago.
Yeah, it's insane. It's insane, and it's not like there's not a huge team behind it either. You know, as far as I'm aware, it's just the one person. I don't know who it is, but like had a brief chat over social media, and they're managing it. So
I feel like they are doing a lot for the sport and a lot for like so sometimes I feel like BAFA or whoever might focus on like a few people who are like who everyone knows like names and whatever, but I feel like they introduce like new people into sport, so like rookies and stuff like you know, just focus on like certain people. So I feel like it's good because everyone feels included, like everyone who plays. It's not, like I said, it's not just stars or whatever, they include everyone. So I feel like everyone feels inclusive in it, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah,
I feel like they have done a lot.
They've given people an equal platform, because when you think of like the top players in the sport, and like rightly so, but obviously they got a lot of attention. And a lot of the time when you do see maybe something to do with the sport, it's linked to these players that are always being advertised. And I feel like the page is just good, especially like if they're doing stuff on the youth teams as well. Like everyone can just kind of go there and see who plays for what team. It's nice to maybe get to know players that you weren't aware that maybe played for the sport. And it's a great way just to communicate with other women that play the sport as well.
And I feel like, sorry, I don't know if I cut you off there.
No, it's okay.
What you both said there is the point, really, isn't it? Because what we're saying is we're, as a complete league, all teams want to increase numbers. And to do that, we need to make the sport, we need to make people see that the sport is accessible. That's not only in terms of like the number of people that are playing it, but also one of the things that I say to people when I'm trying to get them involved in the sport is this really is a sport for everyone. No matter what you like about sport, no matter what your sport and fitness level is, like, we'll find a role for you and we'll find one that you like playing. And these pages, so across Facebook and Instagram, does so much to demonstrate that and to showcase that anybody can get involved in this sport, and not just like demonstrating what the game looks like, but also the reasons why people are getting involved and really demystifying the whole process. I think what they're doing is great. Plus, also, whenever they post something and I repost it and I'm in it, does great things for my social media.
One thing that's highlighted to me, which, I mean, I've been involved with Britball in the Wolves since 2015, so like 7 years. And it's really opened my eyes to the amount of young women who are involved with like youth and junior teams that I would never have known about, and uni ball teams, and as we've already pointed on, senior teams where there isn't a women's team within like a short commuting distance. Like, it's opened my eyes up just to how many people far and wide are actually involved, women in Britball. It's just been great. And as I said, I've been involved for 7 years, and I didn't have a clue that there was that far a reach. But Girls of Gridiron's really opened my eyes to it, which is fantastic.
And then sort of, I think the best thing is just to answer the question that they've put in, like what could be done in terms of recruitment, whether by BAFRA or teams. Like, I mean, some of that has been touched on in some of the previous answers, but I'd still be interested to hear everyone's take.
I feel like social media is taking over the world, let's be honest. Like, with where we are now, like it's on social media. I feel like a lot. So Girls of Gridiron doing Instagram, Facebook, whatever, and I bet that they've got loads of like women into the sport for teams already, like just by using social media. So using social media, like TikTok, I haven't got a clue on TikTok, by the way, but how to like utilize those platforms. I just think maybe that is the way going forward.
Yeah, I agree. Like, everything and everyone is on social media, and as much as I love social media, it can have like a downside, but I feel like it's just crucial in terms of growing the sport. Especially a lot of young people now are on social media, and if it's not out there, they can't see it. So to have like a page that's really promoting it and sharing stories. I know they've done a few interviews with players that are like mums or they still work full time, and it's just nice to see. I think it was Kenya, that touched on the fact that everyone can play. You don't have to be this super athlete. I mean, I don't like running personally, but there's still a position for me. So yeah, I think again, just social media, and I think again, someone mentioned going into schools. I think that's a big part. I wish this was around when I was in school and was doing bloody badminton or something. I'd rather have done this.
I'd kind of say not the opposite, because I think social media is obviously like super important, but I feel like there needs to be, and what Molly touched on at the end there needs to be more touch points for people to see this. And I think sometimes because the sport's so like alien to the UK, and because it's just viewed as this incredibly aggressive and violent game that you'd be crazy to get involved with, you've got to sometimes have that one-on-one conversation and chat with people and explain things to them. And I think doing more to, like Molly said, go into schools and go into gyms and liaise with kind of like linear sports like rugby and football, and pull people in from these like direct sources, and then also have this huge social media presence so that when they go away and think, oh, that was a good chat, let me have a look, it just like confirms everything. Like, social media is the easiest access point, because I could like go away for 5 minutes now and do stuff to update social media, but it is going to take more time and more effort for me to go around to the local gym and stand there for an hour trying to like catch people as they walk in. So like, if we're going back to how BAFRA can support, like doing that job for us, so that people can then find their local teams would be awesome.
No, yeah, I
But
definitely
even
agree with that. Sorry, carry on.
No, sorry. All I was going to say is they've done a lot of things with Sport Scotland, but Sport England. My next point being, what about Sport Scotland? What about Wales? Like you can't just do it in one area because it's convenient. You've got to do it everywhere. And you know, again, it's the age-old thing, and I often feel butthurt about it. But we are so far north, and we often feel left out and forgotten about because nobody for BAFA ever comes up very often. We don't get games of the week streamed and folk visiting us because we are far away, but that also is then the same for the level of support. I think the closest Diamond ever came was Teesside, and that's still 3 hours away for us. So yeah, that was just like they've got to go everywhere. Otherwise, you'll have really strong teams in England, and then your Welsh teams and your Scottish teams will be still faltering at the wayside.
Yeah, completely. Like, I haven't seen much, if any, publicity from them for Scotland at all. I used to live in Scotland, and I had no idea that East Kilbride Pirates had women's team. I had absolutely no clue, and there was no kind of like indication from BAFA when I was looking that there was one. So yeah, if I wasn't paying attention, I'd have no idea, really.
Just moving on from the questions, sort of regarding BAFA. I think this is always the classic one. If it comes up, Alex Schultz, what's your game day hype song? Go on, it's not going to be all of these. It's not going to be all questions like this, but no, go on, just say.
Kendrick Lamar from the Black Panther album. Easy question. Ooh. Next.
I personally like a bit of country music. Like, I'm the opposite. Like, if I get nervous, I don't like any loud noises, or like I just like to be quiet and like go into myself and listen to a bit of like country music or something.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same. I can't listen to loud music. I need like classical, a little bit of chill before we then have to go out and warm up and get hit.
That actually causes a lot of tension on our team, because like half of the team are like, no, we need to listen to ABBA to get hyped up. And the rest of us are like, what are you doing? Like, that's not...
I think a favourite of mine is, sorry to cut you off, but the Venga Boys, you can't beat them. I'm not, like, I'll fight anyone that says that's not a good hype song because I'm not being funny. If you get on the Venga Boys, you're in for a good time. Just saying.
I mean, our favourite team changing room song is All Star.
Okay.
Smash Mouth.
I made the mistake of starting a Spotify playlist, and it goes from happy hardcore to explicit rap to Hannah Montana.
Yeah, I think we've got the Pokemon theme tune on ours.
Nice.
Absolutely.
We did that. We made the same error with the Spotify playlist, and it was like 90% ABBA and country. And then there's like, I was like, any drum and bass? No, we're good.
Well, I'm probably going to. Sorry.
Oh no, go ahead, Lindsay.
No, I was just going to say I'm probably going to find out how many of my gals tuned into this, because I've been slowly but surely deleting all the terrible choices off the playlist.
So, and then sort of going on from Alex's first question, we'll get back into proper questions. These are proper questions, Alex, but they're not great questions. Half-time snack of choice. These are questions that I don't ask in the interview, so it's always good to know. Always good to know. Half-time snack of choice. Or
I'm a Tangfastic kind of person.
Yeah, Haribo.
I can't eat
sour something.
Kind of struggle to eat on.
Yeah, I don't eat like. Yeah. I found it that hard. Like, I think your adrenaline's still going and your mind's still like on that game, and I think no, until like even I can't eat between games either. Like, I think when the games are over and they're over and you're done, I'm like, right, give me a pie or steak, or give me all the meat. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like I messaged our head coach before and I was like, what's the best thing to maybe like eat? Because I just get really anxious. And he said pasta. I was like, who's going to be sitting there like shoving a load of pasta in?
On the day?
One
Night
of our
before.
girls used to eat sushi.
Oh, wow.
That's fair. I get
brave.
that. That's
But
like
then
a
I'm
wee
like,
little
if
protein
you get
hit
it from
there.
a dodgy shop, do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like yellow sticker.
And leave it in your bag all day as well.
Oh.
Although to be fair, one hit and you might keep the rest of the team away from you for the rest of
Well,
the day.
yeah, she did say that.
True.
Yeah.
So this is I like this question a lot. From Katie Ormston. Which team do you wish you could play if location wasn't an issue? I feel like there might be one answer to this question, but I think we should go forth and go through it all.
So I would really like to play the Wolves just because I think they are a really good team. I personally think they should be in the Prem division, but yeah. So I think I'd like to play the Wolves.
You try to get paid up there. You try to get a starting role in Edinburgh.
Yeah, you never know. Just bit of bribery.
I have to go think actually.
I feel like I've been playing the sport a long time. I am old in the sport. I've been playing it like 9 years. So I've pretty much played every team. Manchester, I think, was the first time we played us last year. I think, was it last year? Yeah, which was really.
So I guess maybe.
Yeah, so that was nice to play. I think London. I'd like to play London. Although we got smacked by London, I'd like to play London.
Yeah.
So that's one I'd like to play.
I always wanted to play the Iceni Spears because I thought they had a cool name.
Oh, cheers. we would have happily gone up to Scotland back then, like 100%.
I think
so far anyway. Like,
yeah, I think I would most like to play Cardiff, to be honest. With a Welsh name like mine, I feel like we're connected there. And one of our players, Lauren, she started with Wolves and she then relocated for work down to Cardiff, and she's having a blast down there with the girls. So it'd be nice to have
a good weekend away.
Exactly.
It was our last tournament of the season. It was we got quite
part of the first one.
I'd actually played Cardiff as well for different reasons though. Like back when we were playing flag as Iceni, both of us kind of had like the furthest to travel, and it was a bit of a running joke between us. So we got quite a good relationship with them, quite a bit of banter back and forth. And they were kind of same as us, like where they struggle for numbers and that. So I feel like a real kinship for them. So I'd love to play them.
I mean, I've not had much experience playing many teams. Leeds, Birmingham, Cheshire. But every time I've played up in Scotland for flag, I've had a great time, and EKP seemed like great crack. So if the contact team's similar, I'd go up north.
I think I'd go Scotland, Edinburgh, EKP. Just
come on, guys!
Fun.
Don't.
Yeah, you have to
sit on
pick
the
one.
fence. It's East or West.
Oh no,
East or West. And I've got 5% battery left on this phone, so if I casually disappear, that's what's happening, and I'll catch the responses later.
I'm surprised no one has just put it out there and said Birmingham. God, give me Brum.
I think we played them. So like was it last year? We played them before. So
everyone's already played Birmingham. Boring. Yeah. So this question's sort of been asked, not anonymously, but not in the chat. So when it comes to coaching women, do you feel it is preferable to have female coaches who are involved in the women's game?
I feel like it helps maybe, so like I said, I've been playing a long time, and it's only quite recently that female coaches have kind of been a thing. I feel like it helps, especially if you've played before, because you can give you experiences. So maybe if something's not working, so I play D-line, so maybe if a move's not working for you, to be like, well, try it this way because it works for me. And do you know what I mean? Like there's things like that. I feel like,
I feel like as well, women are quite emotional. I know I am. So, and I'm not saying like men can't relate to that, but I feel like women coaches maybe might understand that a little bit better. But again, we have a majority of male coaches at the Bears, and they are all awesome. But it is nice to have that female presence as well, just to feel like you can relate to someone.
I think it's also, it helps, like, sorry, last time, because I'm probably going to die in a second anyway. It helps overcome those initial nerves of starting something new when they've got a female coach or player there that could like help them relate. And like we all know that football's full of wild innuendo, so I think that also helps having another female there to be like, no, this is the actual terms that we use. It's not the male coach just being crude about certain things. You know, there could be a lot of terminology sometimes which is about
I feel like her phone might
be the 5% gone.
Well, I was just going to say, well, thank you, Lindsay, anyway. I will thank you later, but thank you for coming on at such short notice.
For me, with the female coaches, it's all about representation and what we want the sport to look like. You know, so we can sit here saying things like, oh, people don't know it's for women, people don't know how female dominated it is, but rookies show up and there's a team of all male coaches there. So how is that kind of like communicating that message? I think we need to have at the top level women there so that they can see that it's serious and they can see that there's progression and that there's opportunity there that they can follow in the footsteps of. I think that's absolutely crucial.
Then just another question: if people keep asking questions, I see people are watching, thank God. But you are just ask questions. Much like the one we got from James Bacon. Now, do you think there should be more exposure to American football during PE at a young age in this country?
Christ, yeah. I mean, how cheap is it to run flag?
Yeah,
Well, it'd be so easy, and it's bizarre to me that it's not a bigger thing because you know we have like a few instances of touch rugby and things like that. Like it would be incredibly simple to run, and I think long term that is going to be absolutely key for growing the sport.
I agree. Like it might not be the situation now, but when I was in high school, it was kind of like the girls did one sport and the males did another. And I feel like if we go into schools and show girls that the sport is out there, then especially at the age where they are so impressionable, you know, they could then go on to play uni ball and then progress through. But I feel like it is a really good starting point to get into the schools.
Especially, as Louis said, we have flag as that entry point. And I always say, I wish I'd found this sport sooner because, you know, I'm in my late 20s now and my body won't hold up for a huge amount of time in contact. And if we're only recruiting people once they've gotten to that stage of their life where they're actively looking for something new to do, then how many athletes are we losing out on over time? Because it is a great sport that's so dissimilar to many of the sports that we are playing in schools at the moment, and we are teaching kids. It's just about variety.
But then sort of to build off that, when you see the NFL come over to England, primarily they focus on schools and flag. What obviously the NFL could do a lot more. Like what could you see them doing sort of in a like realistically if you know their options at the minute are just flag in schools?
So that's a tough one, really. Like
no one knows.
I mean, we've all been kind of like singing the praises of doing that. So maybe it's on a Baffin NFL to switch a little bit. Like for them, I guess it's like that kind of like social media support again, doing showcases, kind of spreading the word, that sort of thing. Most people I find come because they know the NFL or they start watching the NFL. So if they're, you know, checking out NFL page and it's like, oh damn, that's near me, that's going to make a massive difference to us.
I was going to say, like, if the NFL that come over, they could just maybe liaise and have a knowledge of which women's teams are where and have that going into the schools. So if they get any questions, they could be like, this is your nearest team or this is how you contact them. But yeah.
So we got another fantastic question. So please keep them coming, guys. Kelly Hopkins, for anyone watching who is thinking of attending a rookie day, what advice would you give them? How would you sell the sport to them? Thank you, Kelly.
I think, like someone said before, there is a position for everyone, like any shape, size, whatever. Like there's a position for you. Like Molly said, I hate running. I can't bear it. So line is my deal. But there is if you hate running, amazing. If you love running, who people are freaky like that, then there's a position for you. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just think this come down. Do you know what? Like, everyone's like dead friendly. Like, you'll make mates for life. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's me.
Mine is there's no pressure to know the sport at all because you'll get taught. And our rules are so different to what you might have seen anyway that actually you're probably better off coming into it not knowing anything because then you're not going to be like, well, in the NFL they do this. Why are we not doing it? And it's like, well, no, we don't have that many people. But yeah, like the girls have said, come down, pick a pair of boots up and a water bottle and come down because, yeah, I've got friends that I've made at football that I'll have for the rest of my life. So, yeah.
I would also say it doesn't hurt when you hit someone. Everyone's like, oh my God, it's really going to hurt. It doesn't. I promise you.
It doesn't.
I mean, you might get a few bruises. No, it doesn't hurt that much. Come on.
I doesn't have that much getting hurt. Open field tackles and I'm absolutely fine. I'd also add to that like, what's the harm in trying? Like, I've played so many sports over my lifetime, and by far and wide, this one is just the best one that I've done. And if I'd started sooner, I would have realized that sooner. Like, not even like sooner in my life. Like, I joined in August, but like I could have joined in July, and I kept on putting it off, and I kept on putting it off, and then COVID happened, and then I kept on putting it off, and I'm like, I should have just gone. When I first thought about it, just go, and if you don't like it, you don't have to commit. So just try.
I think like what James has said there is really interesting about like women not being exposed to a sport that's perfectly for them. Like, by comparison, I never played a sport at all until American football. I tried running and it was crap. So like, and I just kind of like wrote it off. I'm like, no, I'm not sporty. Like, I'm too slow. I'm not like, not runner. And when I went the first time, I had no idea where I would fit at all. And being able to be like, well, here's all of this potential for where you could go. That was absolutely huge for me.
So we got, of course, we've got another question. It's not over yet. Amanda Staples, what's been your most memorable or favourite playing moment in training or at game day? Now, if you read some of the articles the interviews I do, you'll know the answer. So people who haven't read them, actually, imagine the people who are watching probably have read them. So read them again. But yeah, so go around, share favourite moments in training or at game day.
I'd say mine. So I think it was our home tournament or home game last year, and we were actually playing Manchester. And I think one of our linebackers had made the tackle in the end zone, and the ball came loose, and I picked it up, and I really just wanted this moment of running in a defensive touchdown. So I picked it up, ready to run. I started running, and everyone's like, "Molly, you're already in the end zone." So yeah, I got my defensive touchdown, but I didn't get to run with it. But yeah, that's probably my best moment so far.
I think for me, sorry again.
No.
I think the last diamond that got held, I think it was like 2019. I'm not sure, before COVID. Everything's before COVID now. I made captain at diamonds for defense for the North. So I think that was like a proud moment for me. Thank you very much. I think that was one of my proud moments, to be fair.
So obviously, selfishly, my favourite moment was the first touchdown I scored. But my actual favourite moment was, so obviously I came into the sport and we were on skeleton numbers. Like, we barely had any players coming into most games last tournament. And we were going up against Birmingham, who tournament after tournament were turning up with like 3 teams. And we just kind of went into every game like, just do your best, stay alive. And then when we scored a touchdown against them, the coaches rushed the field. Everyone was just like, yes, we've done it. We've proved ourselves. We can do this. We're low on numbers, but we're good. We got this. And yeah, it was just pure adrenaline. And it was a pure rush. It was great.
That's funny, Kenya, because my mum was at that tournament and she's like, when that happened, I just stopped watching your game, Molly, and watched the other game.
Brilliant. Molly's mum's favourite moment as well.
For me, sorry. I keep doing this. I time it so badly. For me, it was last season getting to go up on D-line with Vicky Ware. I met her when I first joined the Spears, and she kind of like took me under her wing. We went to Diamond together, and then I got pregnant and had to take quite a long time out with my son, and she went off and was amazing and went and did GB, being amazing, and to kind of come back round and be side by side with someone who's like that talented and that incredible was just like, man, this is like, I'm living the dream, absolutely living the dream.
So mine would be the Peterborough's first tournament last season. We turned up with a squad of 12 or 13. We saw one of the refs on the way in and he was like, oh, how many have you got today? He was like, 12. And he was like, well, you play like you've got 25. And then, our 2 of our O-line got injured, so our running backs were playing on the line. And then, sorry, Louis, we put 50 points on Norwich. And that was a real proud team moment. That kind of people were playing out of position and stepping up to things they'd never even trained at before, and we still managed to beat teams by that many points. It's a real proud team moment.
So another great one from Amanda, which I feel like I should probably ask in my interviews. What female sports person or athlete is your inspiration?
I mean, I've just been a very long time fangirling over Vix, but
she's amazing.
Nicola Adams is probably biggest at the moment. I think she is fucking amazing.
I think if we're talking Britball, Phoebe Schechter is just ultimate. Like, she's done everything. Like, everything. She's even been in, like, coach the NFL. Like, come on. That girl's done everything. Also, Laura Dye. She's, like, ultimate as well. So, for me, that's, like... And, like, most of, like, the women of football and Britball, like, are paving away. Like, do you know what I mean? So...
Yeah, I'm not that well versed on like names, and it's only my second season. But anyone that does well, that's a woman, I'll look up to them.
Just all women that play sports. We love all of you.
It is kind of like that though. Like when I think about the people that inspire me, it's everyone on the team. Like you look at them first.
So this is another, an anonymous question, and I want to point out anonymous questions aren't just me asking the questions. There is someone giving me the questions. So, would it be feasible for BAFA to assist with forging partnerships between NFL teams coming to the UK with British clubs to increase viability and promote the game? Very large question, I'm aware.
That was a large question.
That was a lot of words.
I mean, for the NFL.
Yes.
Right. That's a question for the NFL, but we are going to say yes, it is possible.
Yes.
Do it.
Yeah.
The thing is, like the NFL, I just feel like the NFL. I mean, I just don't feel like they care about British football, and I don't really mind saying that. Whether it's senior ball or the NWFL, I feel like they simply don't care.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of other countries like Germany like have a bigger football presence, but hopefully in the upcoming years we can show them.
I feel like that's a whole different show as to debate why why Germany, France, and Spain have all got proper leagues where you can get paid, but us, one of the like now, was it the only market that gets multiple NFL games a year? We do not. But that is a question. I feel
like that's a whole separate.
That's
a whole separate episode of the Roundtable. So, like, you know, we sort of come up on an hour now, and I think it's you know, is it time where we say, like, what are people's season's expectations while they've got people who play for other teams in the call? And how much did I bank on doing this? You know what? Yeah, I did. There you go. Shoot me. So go on. What is this? What are your expectations for this Saturday?
I guess I'll go first. So I can't speak for the team, but I think the majority, we don't really have any expectations. I know people are saying we did really well last year, but we've had changes. Other teams have had changes. You know, other teams have had rookies. We've had rookies. It's kind of the unknown that we're going into. I've never personally played Teesside, so I don't have a clue what they'll play like. So yeah, I can't really say any predictions or any expectations, but I would love to come at least second in the division. Would love to come first, but you know, we'll see.
I guess I'm not really going in with any expectations, and similarly, we've not had the conversation as a team as to what it is that we want to get out of it yet. I'm sure we will before Saturday. But you know, like I said, we went into in the last season we had skeleton teams at basically every tournament. This season we've put a lot of work into the preseason. We've had some fantastic training sessions leading up. People are going in feeling confident. For me personally, and I hope this echoes around the team, I just want everyone on the team to show up each day and believe that we're about to win every single game and every single drive, so that we can show teams in our division what we're about and win games.
Win games.
Yeah, I mean, I find it hard with this kind of like weird sort of coming out of a recovery year thing for anyone to have like expectations. I think it'd be kind of naive to go in with expectations because we just don't know what it's going to look like. All I can say is like I have absolute faith in like the talent of our players showing up. You know, regardless of the score, I think they're going to really like put on a show and do themselves proud and do us proud, and that's all I want, really.
I'll go.
Yeah, so like Louis said, like no real expectations. Obviously, we all want to win. We're playing Norwich first on Saturday, so that'll be a good game. See where everyone's at, and then we've got Sandwell, who are a totally new team. You know, they pulled out last season and did controlled scrimmages with another team, so we don't know what they're going to do at all, which is like plunge into the unknown for us. So don't underestimate anyone, I think is what we're going into it as. You know, we did really well last season, but that's last season. Everyone started fresh, so yeah, see what happens on Saturday.
Yeah, so I feel like we've got, like Molly said, we've got no expectations. Just go. To be honest with you, I just want to go hit someone. Like that's all I want to do. Like, let's just go. Like, yeah. It's the first game. It's the first game of the season for our division anyway. Like Molly said, like they've all said, like you've got changes everywhere. Like each team's different this year. Like it will be for every year. You just go down, you have fun, you hit people. Let's just go. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's what we're here for.
For everyone to make it out alive.
With knees intact.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yes, those needs help.
Yeah, sorry,
So
Tebbs, we messed up your little stir in the pot there. I'm
Yeah.
yeah, you did it. That's what I hate about all these interviews. No one stirs it. I've had one instance of stirring the pot, and I've been trying to milk it for all it's worth, and it's not happening.
Yeah, we're on to you. That's the problem.
Really went for it.
I feel like we just support each other.
Damn the whole league. It's so damn supportive and friendly.
You have to be.
Yeah,
We don't have
many
enough
of
people
us.
to
We
drive
can't
anyone
afford to
out.
be.
I'm being like proper. Like, this is the absolute key of my sports journalism degree. It's make the athletes say they hate each other, so you can write more.
We really don't, though.
Yeah, Liz, great. Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe come back to us on Sunday. It might be a different story, but you know.
No, I'm hoping that Leicester will host us a good night out on the last tournament.
Oh yeah,
Peterborough did last year.
Works. Yeah.
We're all booking it like ahead in advance.
Yeah.
Night after, so.
Yeah.
I think what's good about our tournament, I don't know if it's everyone's actually, because I'm not really sure, like, up on everyone's, but our last ones after the national programme, so like when GB go to Finland. So I think it'll be good all around that, like, hopefully we come back with a medal, hopefully we do as, like, the girls do as proud, but I just think it's a celebration of all, like, women's football. Like, that's over, then our season's over. I just think it'll be a good celebration all around.
Yeah.
So
we do have
everyone.
a streamed finals, I believe, this year, though. So that'll be interesting.
Nice.
I am actually hoping to go this year. Fingers crossed.
What about this?
Money will allow.
What about this? What about, can I get everyone to say that the Mexico women's football team is absolute rubbish? No, I'm joking.
I mean, I think that one's up to Meg.
I'll try and get as much of these GB people as I can to get them to quote about how awful Mexico is, then release a massive long article about how bad Mexico is. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, we've come up on the on the hour, and like, unless you've got any more questions, and you've got about maybe 20 seconds to get them in, if you do. That's it.
There was one I've seen before about your favourite biscuit to dip in your brew. That's a good one.
I love a good biscuit.
Oh, I don't drink tea.
Oh, what?
Huh?
Or coffee. So I am out.
Coffee I can agree with, but I love a good brew.
Chocolate hobnob.
I was just going to say, it has to be some kind of hobnob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's robust.
No, jam and cream all the way. Jam and cream, you got everything.
Oh.
Everything in one.
Interesting. Just like melt in the tea. I don't know. Sorry, Megan. This is the conflict that you were looking for in the store. That's it.
It's fine because that's half of me.
I was just going for chocolate digestive, nice and simple.
But, so sorry. So who didn't say hobnob?
Me, absolutely me, with 2 hands. Yeah. Because it's a jam and cream.
Oh, brilliant!
You guys, my mum, mate. We only, it's only people who abstain and only people who have hobnob stuff. No, I'm joking. That'd be really funny. This is gonna be really, really funny. But unless anyone wants to shout out any more, things.
Yeah,
but
I'd say.
And so with that, with James, who did ask a very good question. You're wrong.
One more thing.
You're wrong. No, you go. That's it. It's the only way I'm going to start rubbish between teams is what's your favourite biscuit?
What biscuit?
Yeah, you get a load of linemen in a room together and start talking about food. It's going to get heated.
But, ladies and gentlemen, with that, thank you for tuning in to the first episode of the Roundtable. Hopefully, it won't be the last. We'll do more of these. We've had interest from other people who unfortunately couldn't be here today. Well, because we had someone from Edinburgh. I may have mentioned this. Amy, she dislocated her finger. So, I mean, well wishes. I mean, hopefully it's not too bad. I don't know how bad it is. Yeah, which
classic.
which Lindsay then made sure to point us out that she shouldn't have been trying to catch it anyway. But yeah, I mean, do I say get well soon for a dislocated finger? I mean, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, sure.
I genuinely don't know what to say. Don't do it again. I don't know. But yeah, so thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure that you go to Instagram, go to Facebook, go to TikTok. Even they've got a TikTok, Girls of Gridiron UK. Go on there. They've got great coverage. And also, I mean, if everyone here knows the Instagram handles of their teams, because I think Norwich Devils is Norwich Devils Women. Is Norwich Devils Women. I don't know what Cheshire Bears is, but they're their own squad. So probably
Cheshire Bears.
Just Cheshire
Easy.
Bears.
At
There you
Manchester Titans Women's.
There you go.
I think
And
we're
Chloe,
at Falcons Women's. Or at
There you
Leicester
go.
Falcons Women's.
There you go. Follow all them. Yeah, I mean, you're probably following Sport Tank. So if you are, go and read the interviews. All right, that's all I want. I don't want a lot. That's all I want. But we'll save some news for this part of the show. Keep your eyes peeled to the Sport Tank Facebook and the Instagram and more specifically the YouTube page. About 1 o'clock on Saturday, there might be something coming. All right, I can't tell you what yet, and we'll announce it closer if it happens, which it probably will because I'm in charge of it. So just keep your eyes peeled.
Edge of our seats.
Yeah.
Hey,
I think we've finished games by then.
Hey, I'm gonna let them. I'll let them wait. But if you're smart, you'll already know what it is. If you're smart, you'll already know what it is because I think I spoke about it the other day. So it's like, if anyone right now in the comments can name what my hype song it is from the last interview, I'll send you a free hat. How about that? It's a free Sport Tank hat. You got about 30 seconds. So with that, thank you very much to everyone. Thank you very much to Kenya, to Chloe, to Megan, to Molly, to Louis, to Lindsay, to the people who couldn't make it. They put it out there. They want to grow the sport. And if you're watching your team wasn't represented, go to Sport Tank. Send us a message. Even get your team to send us a message as well. But I'll let everyone say goodbye before I end.
Yeah, cheers for having us.
Thanks
Lots of games this weekend if you're supporting. Our bar's open, so it's going to be a good time.
Good luck to everyone.
Yeah,
Please don't break anything. Stay safe.
See you soon, Chloe.
Yeah, see you Saturday.
Thank you very, very much. And we'll see you on Saturday. Maybe we'll see you on Saturday if you get what I mean.